Hey, what's happening, guys? Rules for Rebels here, and you are tuning in to the first ever mini pool meeting. So this video is actually going to be for both YouTube as well as Steemit. I know I have some crossover audience. I know some of you guys on Steemit have come over and followed me on YouTube, and I know some of you guys from YouTube have followed me over to Steemit, and I'm really proud of a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys are like killing it with content. A lot of you guys have come over. We've interacted with each other on Steemit. I've seen you guys creating a lot of great content, so thumbs up for that. But let me explain this. So on Steemit, one of my buddies on there, and a guy who I really kind of admire and who's doing a great job on there, his name is Brian Phobos. You can find him at steemit.com/Brian Phobos. But he does these pool meetings where he does the meetings from his pool. So just as kind of a little parody or kind of a fun thing, this is actually obviously a hot tub, not a pool, but we're doing a little mini pool meeting. Oh, whale attack. Anyhow, guys. But I wanted to talk about how Steemit needs to become more content focused. So I think what we all want is for the price of Steam to grow. I think we want more people to get on Steemit, more people to start engaging with Steam and Steam dollars and Steam power and things like that. And I think in order for that to happen, we're going to need content to be the key, or content to be the focus. I think Steemit's going to have to become a little bit more like YouTube and a little bit more like Reddit. And here's what I mean by that. How many of you guys have upvoted a post, a Steemit post? How many of you guys have upvoted a Steemit post where you haven't actually consumed the content? So what I mean by that is, how many of you guys have watched a video on Steemit and given it an upvote, but you didn't even watch the video, or didn't even watch a video all the way through? How many of you guys have upvoted a blog post on Steemit and you haven't even read the blog post? I'll admit that I've done it before, and I guarantee that some of you guys have done it as well. And I think it's kind of a bad thing for Steemit, and that's kind of why I'm saying that content needs to be the main focus. So here's what I mean by that is, what I don't want to see happen is to see Steemit become a big game where nobody's actually creating content and nobody's actually consuming content, but everybody's just on there like running around upvoting stuff. Because if that's how it becomes, what's going to wind up happening is everybody's is just, I don't know if it's even possible, but people are just going to create bots or subscribe to bot services and run around liking everybody else's stuff in order to get the reciprocal likes. I don't think Steemit has too big of a problem with this, but like the like for like, the follow for follow, the upvote for upvote, that stuff is not good for Steemit, because it just becomes a big game where nobody's actually coming onto Steemit to consume content. People are just coming on Steemit to run around up-liking and voting and re-steaming as much stuff as they can so that they'll get it in return and so that they can make money. And that's not really what we want to see. If you look at platforms like Reddit, people spend a ton of time on there. YouTube recently announced that the average American spends 4 hours per day on YouTube. YouTube is like knocking cable TV and stuff, out of business. Like, people love YouTube and people go there for the content. And one thing I notice about YouTube is, on YouTube, and I don't mean to knock Steemit too much, because if anybody's tried to become a new YouTuber, if any of you guys are right now in the process of getting on YouTube, it can feel like you're making videos and you're going unnoticed. So the same thing can happen on any social media network, Instagram, YouTube, Steemit, anything like that. But I see it happening a little bit more on Steemit. And one thing I noticed about YouTube is, I think somebody without any following, without any followers, without any other social media following, if they make a great piece of content, it actually does stand a chance at going viral, right? It does stand a chance at getting a lot of views and making money, because ultimately at the end of the day, content rules the day, and good content is going to be seen, it's going to be shared, it's going to be liked, and it's going to rise higher in YouTube search algorithm. With Steemit, there's a lot of great content that just flies under the radar and just, gets lost in the news section. So I think in order for Steemit to get mass adoption, in order for the price of Steemit to grow, in order for the Steemit user base to grow, content is going to have to be like the main focus of the site, because we want people going there not only to create content, but we also want people to consume content. One reason I've never really liked Twitter is because it seems like everybody's just talking at each other. Imagine if you walked into a party, and as soon as you walk into the party, everybody starts talking about their day and what's going on in their life, and everybody's talking at the same time. Hey, today I went to the beach. Hey, today I went to the mall. I had to work today. And, if that's what everybody's doing, at some point, there's no point, even though everybody wants to talk and everybody wants to be heard, at some point, there's no point in talking if everybody else is talking at the same time and you're not going to be heard, and everybody's just going to leave the party, right? And that's what I don't want to see happen to Steemit. I don't want it to be where everybody's talking and everybody's trying to be seen, and there's nobody actually here to consume the content. So kind of going along with, sorry guys, it's like really hot. It's like 90 degrees here. I'm sitting in a hot tub here. But poor planning on my part. But, you know, if we want mass adoption, we're going to need as many people consuming the content as we have out here creating the content. There's going to need to be a lot of back and forth. What I don't want to see Steemit dissolve into is a big game where it's not about the content, it's not about creating content, it's not about consuming content. It's just about everybody rushing around trying to make money by, you know, artificially interacting with other people. And I'm not saying that's what Steemit is. I'm just saying that there is a danger of Steemit becoming that, and I think we need to be aware of that and need to kind of stop that from happening. I'll give you guys kind of another analogy. So my business partner, his son recently started playing baseball. Now, you know, as what happens with a lot of things these days and with millennials and stuff, we wind up like just making things really kind of pussified, for lack of a better word. And I'll give you guys a couple examples. So with his son's baseball, if the catcher drops the ball, a runner is not able to advance. Now, obviously, that's kind of a critical part of baseball, is on a pass ball, or if the catcher drops the ball, a runner can advance. Well, in their league, they can't. So what winds up happening, coaches either put the worst player, the worst catcher behind the plate so that they drop every ball and that nobody can ever steal the whole game, or coaches purposely tell the catcher, drop every pitch that comes, and then nobody can ever advance. Another stupid rule they have is, rather than having to tag a guy out at second base, as soon as the ball gets in the infield, a runner can't advance. So as opposed to teaching kids to hit the cutoff man, get the ball into second base, they just tell the kids to just whip the ball anywhere into the infield because a runner can't go anywhere. And then they also time the games. And so basically what some coaches will do is, as the game nears the end, if they have a lead, they're just going to run out the clock. Now, are these things teaching kids good baseball skills and techniques? No. Is it good sportsmanship? No. Is it in the spirit of the game of baseball? Absolutely not. Is it within the rules? Absolutely. So I think you have some coaches who play dirty right off the bat, and you have other coaches who maybe halfway through the year, they're like, they want to play by the rules and according to the spirit of the game, but at some point they're losing every game because other people are kind of wiggling the rules to work in their favor, and it winds up just being a shitty example of the game of baseball. So, like, how does that relate to Steemit? I don't know, I guess this is kind of a stretch or kind of a weird analogy. My girlfriend always tells me I'm not great with analogies. But my point is, I don't want Steemit to become like that child's baseball game where everybody is trying to play the game of how to make money, as opposed to really creating a long-lasting and a good social network like Steemit is right now, and like it has the potential to become even more so of. So I guess my point here is, well, I love the community aspect of Steemit, and while I think the interaction and everything is good, you know, I think it needs to be more content focused. Right now it seems like the content that is most heavily rewarded is cryptocurrency content and content about Steemit itself. And while I do enjoy those kinds of posts, and while I do enjoy that type of content, if we want to bring the masses over to Steemit, we're going to kind of need to diversify the content a little bit more. We're going to need to get some how-to videos. We're going to need to get some makeup videos. We're going to need to get some product review videos. We're going to need some finance type people on here making personal finance videos. We're going to need people like myself who make entrepreneurship videos coming on over. We're going to need short filmmakers and documentary makers to start posting their type of, their content on here. And Steemit really needs to become a place where people are going to come to consume content, as opposed to just a place where people are coming to play the like-for-like game and to make money. And until that happens, Steemit isn't going to become a serious player like a Reddit or a YouTube, and Steemit could actually kind of start dissolving into something negative. So I don't mean to be negative here, and I'm not trying to be negative. I know a lot of the new people who are coming over to Steemit are falling into playing the game of like for like, follow for follow, upvote for upvote, and a lot of the people are feeling like their content is getting lost. And I don't mean to knock whales here. I'm hanging out with two of my whale buddies here, so I don't mean to knock whales, but one other thing I noticed is that, like, when a whale makes a post, every single post they make earns $300 or $500 or $1,000, And I think a lot of time, and you know, I don't blame the whales for it. It's the entire community doing it. And a lot of people some people agree with this sentiment, some people disagree with this sentiment. But some people seem to say that, okay, once a post makes like $1,000, I'm not going to continue to upload it, or at least I'm not going to continue to upload it at full power, because is any blog post really worth $1,000? Like, would that money be better spent? And I'm not talking about for small time. I'm talking about, would that money be better spent for the good of the Steemit community being spread out, as opposed to all going to a couple of people? You know, I don't, you know, it's not my platform. I'm not the one here to make the rules, but I would kind of agree with that. I think if the money were, not even the money, you know, it's not even all about the money. Like, for somebody who, there are going to be people who come over to Steemit with no other purpose than making money. But there's also a lot of people coming over to Steemit who are content creators and who truly enjoy making content and are passionate about making content. And it's not even about making money. If I get 10 upvotes and I make 6 cents, I'm still very proud of my content and still very happy, because people are actually enjoying and interacting with my content. So it's not about the money. It's just about knowing, like, okay, I took the time to make this. Somebody is seeing it. So I guess I'd just like to see a little bit more attention being spread across all types of content. I'd like to see kind of a diversity of content on the platform. I'd like to see more types of content being rewarded. And all the stuff that I'm kind of criticizing, I'll admit I've kind of at least dabbled at falling into the trap of, you know, kind of trying to play the game as opposed to being a good Steemit member or really trying to grow the platform. So I guess this video has been a little bit of a rant. If you guys agree with any of my points, let me know. You know, the reason that I hopefully this video isn't taken the wrong way. I know I'm a new guy to Steemit. I don't mean to come on here and trash your guys' platform, but I really don't feel like I'm doing that. But I always like to play devil's advocate. I think it's always good to question things. A lot of social media networks, like VidMe being one example, people kind of knock it, that they say it turns into a big circle jerk, right? Of like everybody rah-rah talking about how great the platform is and nobody really trying to improve or criticizing it. And I don't see that problem with Steemit. Like, there's a lot of great development going around Steemit. There's a lot of people trying to spread the word about it. A lot of people trying to improve the community. One thing I recently found the other day is a site, or an alternative Steemit interaction site called Block. What's it called? Chain.bb. Or no, chainbb.com. It basically allows you to, it basically turns Steemit into more of a feeling of a forum or a message board. Another unique thing about it is whatever piece of content has the most recent comment, that rises to the top. So in my opinion, it creates more of a community. It creates more interaction, as opposed to the way that Steemit.com is laid out, where, you know, as soon as something's more than like an hour or two old, it winds up getting lost. With chainbb.com, it kind of keeps the conversation going and keeps older threads alive. Man, I'm sweating, which is kind of a good thing. So, you know, I think if you're on Steemit, if you really want to become part of the platform, you know, a lot of these things you don't discover right away, but if you look for different ways to interact with the platform, you discover these things. I've been on for about a month. I just discovered chainbb.com the other day, and it's kind of giving me a whole different taste of how people interact on Steemit and how content can be consumed and things like that. And I think as people continue to develop platforms like this, we're just going to see more and more. It's going to become a friendlier platform to interact on. But anyhow, guys, I've rambled on for long enough. You know, if you agree with my sentiment that Steemit needs to be more content focused, we need to get a diversity of content. We need to more evenly reward content, and we also need to get more people on here to consume content as opposed to just create it. And I think that's going to happen as we get more of a diversity of content. So, you know, that's my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first mini pool meeting. I would love for your guys' comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Love to hear anything that you guys have to say. Drop it in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.